hello. My name is a fool China, and I am here to introduce your host, the Trash Panda. Yeah.
Somewhere, somebody that really hates China is throwing a chair right now. Hello, guys, and welcome to the season finale of the Deplorable Ones regular season review. I am Trash Panda, and I hope that you have enjoyed your time in the Deplorable Ones this year. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been frustrating. It's been crazy. And so thank you for coming along on that ride. As you know, last week, playoffs were set. We knew who was going to be in which bracket. What it was really down to at this point in time is where you will be seated. And that obviously led to some drama this week, but we will get to that later. Starting out, we have the first matchup, Trash Panda versus the newly named Screwed Again, formerly known as Balzac. We all know why he changed his name, because that's how he feels. Whereas me, fresh out of being officially bumped from the playoffs, I took my anger out on him, 176 to 150. He did have a respectable score, but man, I knew this was who I was going to be headed into the playoffs. I have a great team set up to perform pretty well for the playoffs, and it's a shame I'm not going to be in the actual bracket, the big bracket. Instead, I'm in the consolidation bracket, whatever that means. I don't actually know what it's called this year because it doesn't matter. I'm going to change it when I win anyway. Which, for those of you that don't know, that is the prize for winning the consolidation bracket, is the ability to name the bracket. You also receive this benefit if you win the big bracket, but you also win a bunch of money, so that doesn't really matter as much. But yeah, a nice little fun thing to fight for. And you best believe I'm all in. So be all in with me, my fellow consolidators. Next matchup, Donald Trump, who already locked in the division championship for himself, and more than likely was going to get the 1 seed. I'm pretty sure he was a game up on everybody, and he has most of the tiebreakers. So this was basically just to flex his muscles, which he actually had a pretty low week this week, only scoring 158. But it was enough to get the victory over Dr. Feelgood at 151. Dr. Feelgood, of course, had already locked in his playoff spot, and he knew he was getting a wild card. It was just which wild card. So I'll get to that later. Way to go, Donald Trump. You just win. And for those of you that are interested in such things, he did so on a 74.5% efficiency rating. He had a max score total potential of 213, so finished way under where he could have. And Dr. Feelgood was at 99.1, so if anything, he just allowed it to be a merciful victory as opposed to a blowout. And Caitlyn Jenner's fan club versus Spencer Strasmore. Spencer Strasmore continues his steady decline into the abyss with 117 points showing this week, and Caitlyn Jenner just cruises through 144.17. Just a good outing for Caitlyn Jenner. We kind of already knew Zishi would win that game. So, good on them. King Turd of Shit Mountain and Wolf Bison. I still... How does that team make the playoffs? I just don't get it. 2020? Blame it on COVID? Can't? Fantasy football. It's just an anomaly. It's a freaking miracle, dude. King Shit on his victory lap. Nice, respectable 99 going against Woke Bison, who, after having a late season surge, has really kind of just found himself, settling right back down near the bottom. But it was a good run for him. And obviously a good run for King Shit. The representation in the playoffs for my division. Whatever. Foosball and the Devil versus Beans and Franks. This is where the drama this week was pretty much centered. Foosball got the benefit of Beans and Franks not setting a good lineup. A couple of his players got him zeros because I'm pretty sure they weren't playing, which is a shame. But he's checked out. He has decided that he is done with fantasy football for the year, apparently. This is his second week in a row starting players who weren't going to play. And then Foosball obviously secured his first place victory with 139.67 over 68.9. Good by far for the lowest score of the year. Nailbender and Blue Team. So Blue Team was the source of this drama. He was upset that Foosball was able to receive such an easy victory in the last week because he had the potential tiebreaker over Foosball for the division crown, which would have given him the automatic 2 seed, I believe, and the first round bye. But what he maybe isn't acknowledging is that he actually received a bigger benefit than Foosball did because Foosball blew him out of the park. Last week, Blue Team was in danger of losing because, well, Beans and Frank's team, a lot of the players were scoring very well. The problem is that he started James Conner and I believe 1 or 2 other players that didn't play in the Baltimore game. I believe Mark Andrews was also one of them. And so if anything, the fact that he punted on the season benefited you because it gave you the chance of winning a division championship when there was a very real possibility that you wouldn't. Had Beans and Franks submitted the proper lineup. So I just want to make sure that's known that you received the same benefit. And if anything, it benefited you far more. So regardless, this is something that we will deal with. I'm already in contact with my people to explain what's going on in the front office at Beans and Franks. Figure out maybe why they made some of the choices they made. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they just felt hopeless, and so they were hopeful that a player was going to end up playing that didn't. I don't know. I need to get a hold of him. But, yeah, it was a benefit that you received the same way that Foosball did. So you're allowed to be mad. just the same way that Foosball would have been allowed to be mad if he was after last week, which I don't know if he was because he didn't contact me, but maybe he was. So, yeah, perspective. But not to shy away from the fact that Nailbender gets his third big win in a row at a 174 to 166 score over Blue Team. So he beat me, Foosball, and Blue Team the last 3 weeks. Talk about finishing strong. What an amazing showing by him. Yeah, I applaud you. I applaud you, my friend, for a great finish to the season. I'm super glad that you ended up coming in as the replacement for that other guy.